My name is Whitley, but my family calls me Lily, and I'm here to tell why I feel that the dating pool is tainted. I decided to call my big bro, Will, to see how his date had gone. It was kind of weird because after his date, he immediately left the country. "How are you, Lily?" my brother asked. I told him that I should meet after him that, and that I was curious about how his date went. His whole tone changed when I asked him that. He said that he got into a fight with his date's brother and her baby daddy/son-in-law. I was confused. I asked if they were three different people, and he said that the baby daddy and son-in-law was the same person. I didn't have time to figure out how that was even possible, but I wanted to tell him about my date tonight. I told him that I was going on a date with a very rich, successful, and handsome man. My brother can be a little overprotective at times. I told him that I met Ricardo at Gagel's Country Club. He told me that's where he took his date. I saw him on the dance floor, and he looked right into my eye. His smile was infectious. He was definitely wearing an expensive suit. Definitely didn't get it from Tainted fashion, but there's nothing wrong with Tainted fashion. And he can dance. This man was perfect. After that, we exchanged numbers. We had so many great conversations, and he had a great sense of humor. And he would send me flowers to my job every day. He was damn near perfect. So we decided to go back to Gable's Country Club. Our conversations could go from talking about politics to sports. This time, we were talking about racism and how it still exists. Ricardo told me about the time he experienced racism. He took his date, who was an African-American woman, to a fancy restaurant in Italy. They wanted to sit on the rooftop. A white lady walks up to them and says, "We're booked." He yelled at what seems to be a very unprofessional hostess. He told her that she was a damn lie, and where's the guest? The hostess said that someone already booked the rooftop, but the party hasn't arrived yet. Once he called the owner of the restaurant, because he knew the owner very well, they immediately let go of that rude hostess. Because of that, he can eat for free for a lifetime. Ricardo and I had this vibe that made me feel like I was on cloud nine. I waited 30 days to give him all of me. Today was the day that I was born to do just that. We pulled up in front of a huge mansion. Ricardo said that this was one of his homes. We walked into a room that was set up like a theater. He knew about my love for horror movies, so he decorated the theater with life-size Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger mannequins. We watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 1974 version, of course. I noticed that the wine that Ricardo gave me was pretty strong. He said that he got it from Paris. I noticed that my vision was getting blurred by the minute, and I blacked out. When I came to, I was in a very elegant bedroom. I was fully clothed, but I didn't remember how I got there. I overheard female voices in the other room. I heard them saying stuff like, "This one gonna make us a lot of money," and "Make sure that you lock her phone up in their safe." I got up to find the room that these female voices were coming from. I walked into another lavish bedroom with three females wearing all black hoodies and sweatpants and black Air Force Ones. One of them said, "Well, hello, sweet and beauty." I asked them multiple times who they were and where Ricardo was. I wasn't getting anywhere with these female hoodlums, so I started walking around to find Ricardo. I wasn't leaving until I got my phone, as well as the explanation for Ricardo. I found Ricardo in the basement. I started screaming at him, asking him what was going on. He looked at me with such a demonic facial expression and said, "Bitch, I own you now." At this point, I don't care about my phone nor my purse. So I ran out of the basement, and there they were, a thick-ass set-it-out crew. They grabbed me and threw me in some room that looked like a dungeon. No bed, no bathroom, nothing. There were two buckets in the corner, which were supposed to be toilets, I guess. Little did I know, I became a victim of sex trafficking, and they were all upstairs, planning on how much they were going to sell me for.